Hello and welcome to my channel, Nilou's Gaming. The brand new 5-star Hydro Dancing waifu, Nilou, has finally arrived in Genshin Impact. We'll be taking a look at how a Constellation Zero Nilou performs and whether or not she's the right dance partner for you. So I'll be using many different builds throughout this video to demonstrate a few things that Nilou is capable of. In this video, I'll demonstrate Nilou's kit with a free-to-play Bloom build, a full team showcase of Nilou's Bloom performance, Nilou's free-to-playish nuke damage, and finally, a giant Nilou big nuke showcase. Let's start with a free-to-play friendly build, an HP percent Bloom focused build. For this build, I have the 2-piece Tenacity of the Millelith and the 2-piece Emblem of Severed Face. She is, of course, at Constellation 0 throughout this entire video, and her talents are at 6, 6, and 9. Starting off, I'm using the Iron Sting on her, although honestly for the free-to-play Bloom Nilou, her 4-star options barely even matter. I end up using a Favonius sword later on in this video. Anyway, enough diddly-daddling, let's go smack our favorite volunteer, the Regisvine, but of the Pyro variety. Starting off with her normal attack, Dance of Samseer. I apologize in advance for the name butchering that is sure to occur. Anyway, her physical normal attacks are unique in that she is the only sword character with just a 3-hit combo. Interestingly, her charge attacks are quite fast as well. Unfortunately, a build like this is certainly not going to do any damage with her normal attacks, so let's move on to her elemental skill, Dance of Hafkarzvar. Her elemental skill has 2 variations, and the first variation is if you destroy that left mouse button by smashing that subscribe button for more Genshin Impact content. Mashing that left mouse button causes her to do her sword dance variation, which is a 3-hit attack that deals some modest hydro damage that scales with her max hit points. If you use her normal attack for the third part of her dance, she'll infuse herself with hydro and enter pirouette state for 10 seconds, which allows her to continue spamming her hydro-infused sword dance. In total, she's able to do 6 full and 3 combos by simply mashing the left mouse button until her 10-second duration is up. In this next clip, we can see that it has standard ICD, chipping away at the Pyro Regisvine's single sussily placed ball once every 3 hits. The next variation of her elemental skill is when you mash the E key, or her elemental skill button. She'll do a different animation that hits a little bit harder and also scales based on her max HP. These 3 hits share the same ICD as the first hit, and after the 3rd hit, she gains this Tranquility Aura. And although it does no damage, we can see that it appears to be hitting the Regisvine. This Tranquility Aura is constantly attempting to apply hydro to enemies within it. In this next clip, we can see that by helping our Regisvine friend with its personal hygiene, Nilou's Tranquility Aura is washing our Regisvine friend's ball once every 4 hits. Swapping Nilou off also does not lose the Tranquility Aura. Next we have her Elemental Burst, Dance of Abzendegi, Distant Dreams Listening Spring. It ticks twice, with the second hit doing a bit more damage. Most importantly, this also scales off her max HP, and both hits apply Hydro. The second hit connects around 2 seconds after the first hit, and with an HP percent focused build like this one, it's not going to do much damage. Now that we have an idea of how her kit works, let's grow it all together and see if we can toss our Regisvine into the compost bin. Here I have Collei applying a ton of Dendro for Nilou to bloom with. After the 3rd dance move of her elemental skill, all Dendro cores created by this team turn into bountiful cores for the next 30 seconds, which explode very quickly and also gain more damage based on Nilou's hit points. Extremely long passives aside, as long as you have only Hydro and Dendro characters in your team, your Dendro cores will gain damage and explode much more quickly. As we can see with this setup, Nilou's 16,484 damage blooms were able to effortlessly compose our poor Regisvine friend. Let's see next how she performs in a full team in a couple of scenarios, starting with a single target boss fight, this giant robot chicken. Thanks to Traveler's Deepwood memories, as well as Barbara's pure elemental mastery build, and Nilou's HP adding even more damage onto all the bountiful cores generated by Barbara are doing 31,000 damage each. Even against a single target boss fight, this team's damage is surprisingly bountiful. And honestly, with an extremely copium team build. Our giant robot chicken friend was absolutely garnished to death. But that's not where Nilou's bloom damage actually shines. You might be curious about how an AoE damage build performs in an AoE scenario. And my goodness, this is like actually touching grass with all the green on the screen. If you're looking for a satisfying and relatively effortless way of filling up the screen with more fiber than your digestive system needs in an entire lifetime, then a bountiful core Nilou build is the way to go. But is this team actually good in Genshin Impact's quote-unquote endgame content that causes a lot of anxiety? But don't worry, after this quick Abyss 12 showcase, I'll also show you guys Nilou's nuking capabilities. So miHoYo knew exactly what they were doing with the timing of this Abyssal Moon and the enemies present in the top half of Abyss 12. The Abyssal Moon will grant Nilou teams with 200 Elemental Mastery, which is a nice bonus. But more importantly, the enemies are super bloom friendly. 12-on-1 is filled with a bunch of rabid zombies lacking the brains to do anything besides run towards the only person with brains, aka your character. Thanks to this brainless AI, they all run into bloom, doom, and go boom. Seriously, an animalist team with a bunch of non-DPS focused artifacts on a very free-to-play friendly team was able to destroy this chamber in no time at all. 12-2-1 is a bit more annoying in terms of the enemy AI, with the dino robots often taking a nap across the map. But after just a couple of tries fishing for some better AI, they all decide to hang around Barbara to face imminent destruction. In 12-3-1, while a huge pain for characters that have a lot of knockback in their kit, Sino, the overall lack of knockback in this team allowed for the friendly baby lizards that all want to hug you to only be greeted with countless exploding dendroid cores once they approached Barbara. The overall lack of knockback in this team allowed for the friendly baby lizards that all wanted to hug you to be greeted with countless exploding dendroid cores of death. This team cleared 12-1-1 in just 35 seconds, 12-2-1 in just 22 seconds, and 12-3-1 in 16 seconds. Seriously, this has got to be one of the most favorable Abyss top halves to a newly released Constellation Zero 5-star character in Genshin Impact. Anyway, with the egregiously designed top half of Abyss 12, specifically engineered to be trampled by Nilou's Bloom Doom team, let's take a break from all that greenery and instead see how much Nilou can nuke for. Starting with a free-ish to play friendly setup with a Refinement 3 Iron Sting, Instructor Xiangling, Dark Iron Sword Kazuha, and a literally whatever Yelan. Thanks to the lack of ICD on both her Q ticks, Nilou nuked the Primo Geovishap with this free-to-play setup for a total of 484,852 damage. Seriously, not too shabby for a free-to-play setup like this. But what if we used her signature weapon at Refinement 1 with Constellation 2 Klee instead of Xiangling, and Constellation 2 for Kazuha, and the elegy for the end on Yelan? Well, that escalated quickly and did 584,269 damage on the second hit. In total, this nuke setup did 1,050,654 damage, which cleanly one-shotted our poor giant lizard friend. But wait, let's go even further beyond, against our sentient Duplo block friend. Yes, I did have to fish for the first hit to not crit, and then fish for the second hit to crit to get this damage per thumbnail, but as we can see, even at Constellation 0, Nilou is able to output some serious nuke damage. I shudder to see what she can do at Constellation 6 Refinement 5. So there you go, my first impression of our favorite, censored by the Academia dancer, Nilou. Nilou being the first ever character to transform a transformative reaction sets an interesting precedent for the future, and her having such a free-to-play friendly build with a pure HP percent build, along with teammates that can use literally almost whatever artifacts, makes her an amazing budget character. Overall, I think Nilou is a solid character with some good nuking potential as well. Although a lot of her hydro damage is absolutely paywalled and locked behind her signature weapon, constellations, and supports, but pleasantly surprising, her bountiful core build is extremely free-to-play friendly and also extremely viable, at least against multiple targets that you can group without an animo character. Let me know what you think about Nilou down in the comments below. And do let me know down in the comments below what kind of Nilou content you guys would like to see. Honestly, I'm not sure who to put her up against in a Constellation 0 DPS showdown, given just how interesting and odd of a character she is, aka she's a bloom damage focused character at Constellation 0. Now Constellation 6 Refinement 5, I think she has a lot more options in terms of who she can face in a proper DPS showdown, and yeah, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, I regularly make Genshin Impact videos ranging from Caesar showcases, DPS showdowns, guide videos, and more. So be sure to smash the subscribe button as it's the best and easiest way for you to support my work. Also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Win to Lose, signing out.